All right, hello everybody. I think I got cut off on my last stream, so I'm gonna pick it right back up. Make sure I am logged on and ready to go, and I am. Sorry about the interruption there. Welcome to the show. We'll continue on with the live stream of Hurricane Sandy. Let's give you a synopsis right now. This is 11:20 Central Standard Time, so 12:20 on the East Coast. Hurricane Sally is max sustained winds of 100 miles per hour right now. Suspected or possible landfall could be early Wednesday morning. And right now, that landfall seems to be, it would be close to somewhere around Gulfport, Mississippi, Biloxi, Mississippi, Pascagoula, Mississippi, or Mobile, Alabama, Dauphin Island, Orange Beach. So there's a lot of places in there that are tourist destinations. There's a lot of business there. There's a lot of mom and pop shops in those areas. There's a lot a lot of industry that strives off of tourism in all of these areas. So definitely got to be cautious of what's going to happen over the next 36 to 42 hours with Hurricane Sally. As the models continue to roll in, starting to see a consensus between a lot of the models, and a lot of those models are Mississippi coastline, Alabama coastline. So that is where the general consensus is right now. National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center, has it as 100 mile per hour sustained winds. Says that that Sally can intensify all the way up to 110 mile per hour winds, and that that Sally would probably enter wherever she lands at. Sorry, I'm trying to fix something else out here. There we go. Wherever she makes landfall at, probably be making landfall at about 105 miles per hour. So a Cat 2 hurricane. Cat 2 hurricane when it makes landfall. So that's the general information right now. I'm going to continue to stream, continue to give you some more information, because the more information that you have, the better informed that you could possibly be. I'm fixing to show you what the National Hurricane Center shows you. By all means, make sure to make all plans, all adjustments, everything through the National Hurricane Center, all your official information through there. I've studied meteorology. I've been a weather nut for 40 of my 43 years on this earth. It's my hobby, it's my passion. Anybody could tell you from an early age on that weather and I were destined to be together. So this is just the way that it is. Once again, your official information comes through the National Hurricane Center, but I'm trying to give you a deeper look. I'm trying to give you individual models, I'm trying to show you what they show, I'm trying to show you some of the thinking behind the National Hurricane Center and why they are making the landfall, where they're making their landfall, why they're making the intensity, where they're making the intensity. I look at other models like the Icon model. I try to blend these models together to try to show you when you take all these models, you blend them together, you get a really good sense of what the models are trying to tell you. I look at model trends. I deal a lot with the model, also deal a lot with models, also deal a lot with satellite, with radar imaging. I try to get everything all into one big capsule so it's easier for you to digest. And I try to make it in normal talk, not meteorological talk. You'll hear me say some things like GFS. That's a model. It's an American model. The European model, once again, it's a model. You'll hear me talking about all kinds of things. I will try to, if I say something that is a meteorological term, I'll try to make sure to put that into normal talk. Okay, I know how frustrating it can be when you're looking at this and you're trying to decide, hey, what does this hold for me in the future? I want to try to get that information out to you as the simplest, best way possible that I possibly can. There's nothing worse than somebody spitting a whole bunch of terms out and you don't know what the terms mean. Showing you a whole bunch of models, but you don't know what the models mean. I try to explain it to you. I try to go in depth. I try to give you a peek behind the curtain of what's going on at the National Hurricane Center, at local NOAA offices. Try to help you see kind of the why behind everything, and try to throw my own little 2 cents in there. Okay, so thank you for coming to this page. This is Randall's YouTube page, Randall's weather page. So you can see that right here. So that's where you're at right now. I'm also on Facebook at Randall's weather page also. And you can also catch me at Randall's weather page on Twitter. That's what I'm trying to make as easy as possible to be able to find me. I will tell you that tonight I am through this stream. Excuse me while I readjust here. I'm also asking for donations if you feel led to. Take that off. My PayPal, Big Cups Fan in TX. It's just, I call it my coffee money. If you like what you see and you want me to keep going and to keep doing updates like this and to keep streaming like this, shoot me over a couple of dollars so I can go get some coffee and make sure that I stay awake. My contacts are killing me right now. It's about time for some coffee on my side. But once again, if you do feel led, my PayPal is a Big Cubs Fan in Texas. Please feel free to drop me a couple of bucks and let me go get some coffee after all this is done, or go get some coffee and continue to do stuff like this. All right, enough of that. Let's get in to not looking at my face anymore and then going in to Radar Omega. I'm going to get out of the mid-level. I'm going to go into long wave. And my long wave infrared satellite. Stop it while it continues to try to figure out the rest of it here. In fact, let me back out of consensus. Let's go directly into just the Hurricane Sally portion of this. The way that she looks right now, pretty ragged compared to what she looked at 3 o'clock this afternoon. It looks like Sally has ingested some dry air, and that dry air is keeping Sally from completely having her eye enclosed. And anytime you have a hurricane that can't enclose its eye, a rapid intensification will not happen with an open eye. So that's what she's having problems with right now. I'm going to run this. This is the last 100 frames. Look how good she looked. And then tonight, that dry air got in there. Dry air just starts killing it off. And notice, I'll show you, notice continuously here, you see the buildup of clouds. You see the explosion of storms. Once that dry air gets in there, look, almost starts to sputter. Trying to start, stops. Trying to start, stops. Trying to start again. She's trying hard to wrap that around. She's trying hard to wrap that convection around her try to complete her eye out. All right, but she was healthy here. Once that dry air got in there, sputter, sputter, off, sputter, off, sputter, off. Anytime you have that dry air, anytime storms start trying to build up, that dry air will choke out the building of storms. And this is what's happened tonight so far with Sally. She's trying her hardest to get her act together, but that dry air that she's ingested just won't let her do her job. I'll go back to the mid layer. This is the mid layer, so water vapor loop. Make sure she's got it, and I just want to show you the dry air that has gotten in. Comes in through here. See this trail out here? Dry air just followed right in, and you notice right here, here's your pockets of dry air that she's ingesting. Just pockets of dry air, and that's enough dry air to not take intensity away, but keep intensity the same. That dry air getting in, dry air getting in, and she's trying to push that dry air out. When she engulfs that dry air, it caps off the thunderstorm, and then she tries to build it back up, and it just sputters. So it's like dry air has infiltrated for right now into Hurricane Sally and has made it to where she can't intensify. She can only maintain her 100-mile-per-hour sustained winds, which is still a Cat 2. Okay? Still a Cat 2 hurricane. Don't need to drop our guard, but you can see that dry air getting in, and that's why she looks ragged and why she can't close that eye wall off. And let me show you that eye wall. Very ragged at the moment. Go 50 frames. You can see that eye wall right there. Almost had it closed off. And then that dry air came in from this way. It just sheared apart that southwest side of the eye. Almost had it together. We were looking at it about 3 hours ago. We were looking at it. That eye wall looks like she was about to close it up. But just at that moment, dry air got in. And just, not much of an eye wall right now, to be quite honest with you. All that dry air coming in this way. As soon as that dry air gets in there, you can see it really hit about right now. All that dry air gets in, just tears apart that west. It tears apart that west. It's an ugly looking arrow. I'm probably doomed to repeat it. But it just tears apart that south and southwest part of the eye wall. It just makes it ragged. Absolutely makes it ragged. But notice the movement of the eye. Not much movement whatsoever. Not much. All right, speaking of that, since we started over, let's go back to the National Hurricane Center's website. Let's go into Sally. Let's go in and take a look at graphics. This is as of 10 p.m. Your 1 a.m. should be coming out here within the next hour. This is your 10 p.m. As of 10 p.m. at 100 mile per hour sustained winds. West-northwest, the movement was at 3 miles per hour, so barely crawling. Keeping hurricane status, look at this. So this was as of 10 p.m. Look at 7 a.m. Wednesday. Going in just west. That'd be going in around Pascagoula, Dolphin Island, somewhere around Mobile, just west, right on the Alabama-Mississippi state line. But that's 10 p.m. tonight, 7 a.m. Wednesday. Not much movement whatsoever. Not much movement whatsoever. You have hurricane warnings from just west of the mouth of the Mississippi, and that extends all the way over to right at Pensacola. Pensacola, maybe right there. It stops at Fort Walton Beach. And then you have tropical storm warnings just west. Let's go take a look at that right quick because I want to make sure I get this right. So, just south of Morgan City, over to south, right to the mouth of the Mississippi. Call it that. Those are tropical storm warnings, and then from Fort Walton Beach all the way over to, I'm gonna say it wrong. I got to look at it. Apalachicola. You have tropical storm warnings. All right, let's go look at your surge, your peak surge. Once again, your peak surge is going to be somewhere around the mouth of the Mississippi, all the way over to Dolphin Island. Okay, 6 to 9 feet in that area, including Lake Pontchartrain being somewhere around 3 to 5 feet. And then Mobile Bay, 6 to 9 feet of surge inside Mobile Bay. That's a lot, absolutely a lot. 4 to 7 feet all the way over to the Alabama border, 2 to 4 feet from Alabama, Florida border, all the way over to the Oskaloosa-Walton County line, and then 1 to 3 feet over to St. Andrews Bay, and then 1 to 3 feet, I ain't even gonna try to say it, Chassahowitzka? It's about as close as I can get to it. I probably butchered it, but y'all probably laughing at me at the moment. That's okay. That's your peak surge. Let's look at potential rainfall right off the bat from Biloxi, Mississippi, all the way over to the Florida, Alabama coastline. You're looking at somewhere between 15 and 20 inches of rain. That's right, I said it. 15 to 20, 15 to 20 inches of rain from about Biloxi, Mississippi over to the Florida, Alabama coastline. So right next to Pensacola. It's nice. That's a lot of rain. So take that, and then you add in surge from the storm coming in. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot. Your flash flooding potential, of course, in that area is just high. And then from Apalachicola all the way over to the west part of New Orleans, Lake Pontchartrain, Slidell, Louisiana, all the way up to Atlanta, Georgia, and just north and east of Atlanta, Georgia, you have a moderate chance of flash flooding. Okay? Moderate chance. So just because you're not on the coast doesn't mean that this won't affect you. Okay? The southeast. Let's go back to this. Here we go. From southeast, extreme southeastern Louisiana, southeast, Mississippi, almost the entire state of Alabama, the northwest corner of Florida up into the northwest and north central Georgia. Really going to have to watch out for flash floods. Really going to have to watch out for flash floods. Okay, wind speed probabilities. Let's go to hurricane force winds. For 120 hours, your probability is greatest right going into the Alabama Mississippi state line and into Mobile Bay. That's your greatest chance on land. So from Pascagoula, that extends over to, let's say, right at Biloxi, all the way over to Foley, Alabama. Your greatest chance with being right into Mobile. So this area, Biloxi to Foley, Alabama, greatest chance of seeing hurricane force winds. Okay? That's for 120 hours. Out 124 hours. All right, let's leave the National Hurricane Center. I want to go over to F5 weather. I want to look at your national blend. I'm going to move over. Oops, went the wrong way. Over there it's just hot. Hot and smoky. Okay, let's go out. I'm going to animate this out to 162. Oops, I'm not doing what I wanted. Sorry. I'm going to let this run through one more time. This is a national blend of models. Stop at 162 hours out. And you can see where your majority of rain is. Once again, over towards Pascagoula. Mobile, all the way over to Fort Walton Beach, the national blend of models, 18Z. So this is at 6 o'clock this afternoon. That's where they see the majority of rain. But once again, what was I just talking about? Birmingham, almost 5.5 inches of rain. Atlanta, almost 6 inches of rain, with more just to the north of it. Okay, so up here, up in northeast Georgia, far northeast Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, you're looking at 7-8 inches there. Even into Tennessee, you're looking 3 to 4 inches. North Carolina, it's Raleigh. Raleigh is looking at about 4.5 inches. South Carolina, I think it's, oh boy, I'm missing my geography here. Let me go up, over, where is that going to be? Columbia, South Carolina, looking about 6 inches of rain. So this is a national blend of models. This was at 6 o'clock this afternoon, and it shows that's your rain totals out of this storm at 162 hours. I can actually move a little further. Doesn't change much. So your national blend of models is showing this as a huge rainmaker for the southeastern United States. Not much in Florida except for Tallahassee, but you move just north of Tallahassee and just south of Nashville, and then move that all the way up into Virginia, you're looking at 3, 4, 5, 6 inches of rain between now and next Tuesday. That's a lot of rain, not just counting what's going on at the coast, okay? And by the way, 3 inches of rain in New Orleans is no slouch. I've been in New Orleans when they had an inch fall and water was shooting out through the manhole covers. So 3 inches of rain is nothing to slouch out in New Orleans. Could be far worse if it took a western turn. That would be, all this would just move west also. But as it stands right now, it looks like New Orleans could be on the west side of the storm, which would be the drier side of the storm. The east side of the storm is a wetter, more more rain. All the surge, higher winds are usually on the east side of the storm. So that's what your national blend of models shows. Your 3 ensemble mean, which that's going to be GFS, your Euro, and your Canadian. This was all ran at 12Z, and what's the next one it runs? 0C, 0. So it should be coming in here pretty. The latest run comes in here, but 24 hours it shows the mouth of the Mississippi. 48 hours it's more just south and east of Slidell, Louisiana. Still right over the mouth of the Mississippi. And then when we go to 72 hours, it's just north and east of Mobile, Alabama. So that is what your 3 ensemble mean is on position. Okay, you don't on those. You don't look at on your ensemble means. You really don't look at intensity. You're just looking at positioning. So your positioning is a little bit further west than what the National Hurricane Center has it as, but that's what the national blend of models. Now that new model run should be coming out here pretty soon. So maybe we'll be on here by the time that comes out. I'm just taking a look at some information here. I'm going to, oops, no, over there. I want to go, let's go back to Radar Omega. Let it load up. I'm going to turn this back to satellite and take it off of visible and go to IR. I'll put this into motion. Once again, you can see her, she's trying to build up, but that dry air really making it difficult for her. She's just maintaining what she has right now. She's trying to get stronger, but she is just maintaining where she is at the moment. All right, I put a box inbox there, and that smaller box just shows you a radar. It's a still radar, it's not moving, but it is showing you that, so let me move this in just a little bit here, and up. Oh, that might be too far up. Yeah. Right there. Sorry about the glare. I have to work on that and see if I get that fixed for the next stream. But if you can see right there, that is the inland. I'm showing you the infrared. I'm also showing you a still radar. So as you can tell, right now, Dolphin Island, from Dolphin Island, Foley, Alabama, Pensacola, Fort Walton Beach, Destin, Grayson Beach, Panama City, Apalachicola all has rainfall going on right now. So she's not on land yet, but she's already dropping rain. And I'm really interested to see what the rainfall amount is that happens to be in Florida, because if she doesn't move that much, and she's only moving 3 miles per hour, and it's west-northwest, we could be looking at consistent rainfall. Basically from Dolphin Island all the way over to Apalachicola for a day and a half. That's a lot of rain. Tropical rain is a little bit different from just a little mist. Anybody that's been through tropical storms or been through hurricanes know that it's a heavy rainfall. You know, this is seawater that's coming in and falling. So it's a little bit heavier, feeling a little bit heavier sounding than what your normal, just run-of-the-mill rainstorm is where you're from, if you're not from the coast or you don't live on the coast. I'm looking at if you don't follow this person, you probably need to. He is one of the best hurricane chasers that's out there. He will travel all over the world to go chase hurricanes. Josh Morganman. And Josh just bought a house. And guess where he bought it? It's right outside of Pascagoula. So for him, he doesn't even have to move to chase the storm. Probably the first time it's ever happened to him like that. But anyway, he said that he's sitting out basically on his front porch, and he said the water's starting to creep over the road a little bit, so the seas are getting higher. And he's just sitting there waiting for it to happen. You usually don't hear it. It's sort of like a tornado chaser walking outside their front door and saying, "Oh, there's a tornado right there." So he's pretty giddy about not having to travel, but also worried about his brand new home that he just bought. So once again, looks like rainfall falling from Dauphin Island all the way down past Apalachicola. I'm going to go down just a little bit, see how far down this goes. Let's see. Still raining. It goes all the way over to Cedar Key, all the way down to Tampa. Tampa's seeing some rain out of this. Sarasota, Bradenton. So starting to see some rain all throughout the coast, the western coast, and northwestern coast, the Emerald Coast of Florida. But this area right here, that's where all your rainfall totals are going to add up at. So personally, I know they have it ending, they have the 15 to 20 inches of rain ending at the the Florida-Alabama coastline. You can tell it's getting late. But I would, for me personally, I'd be definitely watching out at Destin, Fort Walton, Grayson, Panama City, Apalachicola. I mean, it's just one of those things where I just don't see it. It'll consistently still rain. It's not going to move that much. So you just have band after band after band of rain. Just very few breaks in between. Very few breaks in between. All right. So going over some information here. All right. She's still trying to get her act together. Alright. Once again, just going over some information, letting you look at. Letting you look at Hurricane Sally here. All right. I'm going to solo that one out just for a second so I can sign in. To an app. Alright. Back over here. Looking at radar scope, you can still see this ingest of dry air and that side of the eye being open. She's trying hard to wrap her eye up with storms, but that dry air is just making it very, very hard for her to do that. Moving to a different radar site. This one is out of Slidell, Louisiana. What I've been looking through is right outside of Mobile. Just seeing if I can see something different on the eye. Yep, still showing, once again, that whole side of the eye. Whole side of the eye. So this would be the eye, and this whole side of the eye is open. And your hurricane cannot intensify with a whole side of the eye not open. Just it can keep its intensity. It might lose just a little bit of intensity, but it definitely can keep its intensity. But with that whole eye, with this whole part of the eye right here open because of dry air coming in, just not much you can do until that dry air gets expelled out. and there was dry air, and we looked around it in the mid-layer water vapor loop. There was dry air all out here. This was all dry air, and just she got too close to it, and some of it got ingested into her eye, which she was just about to close her eye, and she ingested this dry air, and it just caused the eye to open up, and just couldn't just hasn't been able to expel that dry air ever since. I'm going to switch it over to velocity mode. Let's see. So still, velocity mode is still a little bit too far out to show anything definitive, but it does show you velocity mode is wind, okay? Velocity mode is the wind. So your green, so here's your radar sight. All this green is flowing, that's wind flowing towards the radar sight, okay? So it's flowing towards the radar sight. The red is flowing away from the radar sight. And where the red and green collide is where you see circulation. So that would be kind of where the eye would be. I'm going to put this into motion. I'm going to watch. It's on velocity. The closer it is, see this right here is this is the main reach of velocity on a radar. Seeing out past in this area, it's spotty, okay? You're still seeing good information come back, but it's just spotty information. If you're inside this area, it shows up really good. You won't miss a beat. So that's why you'll see it kind of pop in and pop out there. But I'm going to put this into motion. And you can even see on velocity. I hate it when it does that. But you can even see on velocity right here. This is a open eye. Anytime you have an open eye, your intensity is flat. So flat intensity when you have an open eye. Flat intensity when you have an open eye. That's ugly. I know it's ugly. You can laugh. I know. It's okay. I laugh at it too. Believe me. Anybody that's ever seen me write is like, what is this? Okay. Once again, there's your part of your open eye right here. So open eye. And you can even see the open eye from Slidell, Louisiana. From that. Once again, this is your money inside here on when you're looking at wind outside in this area right here. It's kind of spotty, but even when it's spotty and you can still see that open eye, you know, it's a pretty big open eye. She's trying to get her act together. Definitely trying. All right, I'm gonna move off of that. I'm gonna go into Weather Nerds right quick. Look at numerical models. Okay. Let's go with the H1, Sally. So this is how the H1, this is a hurricane model. This is how how the HMON has started out, and this is model cycle 0Z. Okay, so this is how the HMON hurricane model starts looking at Sally. I'm going to get cross-section mode, and I'm just going to go straight across on this one. And we'll see. Okay, so this is how the one hurricane model initiates right now. What Sally looks like if you take a cross-section look at Sally and look at it from top to bottom. Let's see. This is the top of the atmosphere. This is near the surface or at the surface. And we're looking at winds. Notice, very nice looking eye at this point. And then, but most of the winds over here on the west side of the storm. Okay? West side, not the east side. And the east side is usually where your stronger part of the storm is. Your heaviest winds right now is on the west side of the storm. That's because it's lopsided. And still trying to wrap that eye in completely. And then that wind is going to be around 100 to 110 miles per hour. Okay. I want to go in and look at moisture, because moisture will tell me if there's any dry air. And look at this. I've been talking about dry air getting it ingested into the system. Here's your dry air right here. So this is the upper layer atmosphere. This is into the mid layer, upper to mid layer of atmosphere. On the west side of the storm, it's ingesting dry air. So the HMON correctly has shown that Sally is ingesting dry air and starting to get into the eye. So that's why the southwest side of the eye is not closed. So the HMON, almost perfect in the way that it has looked at, the way it initiated its latest model run when it comes to Sally. Let's go over to the H-Wharf. H-Wharf, almost closed on the eye. Let's go get a cross section. I will go from west to east. Let's get that cross section. I'm looking at 232 miles across. All right, same thing with the H-Wharf. This is the other hurricane model. It's showing the higher wind over here on the west side of the storm, and it's up to over 100 miles per hour. The east side of the storm, which is normally the stronger side of the storm, not as strong. There's your eye, decent looking eye, but notice how your top of this side of your storm is bending. I bet you if we go in and we take a look at the moisture, we're going to see that dry air is infiltrating over here too. I may be wrong. Let's go look. Boom. There it is. So both hurricane models have correctly seen the ingestion of dry air. And that dry air is moving across the upper to mid atmosphere on the west side of the storm, and is starting to, that's why it's tilted. That's why this tilts over here. The east side of the storm, notice the top part of it tilted to the east. It's ingestion of dry air. So that's why Sally is staying where she's at in intensity, but at least both those two models have correctly seen dry air getting into the upper and mid layer of the atmosphere. So that's where she's digesting the dry air from, is from the upper to mid layer of the atmosphere. And that's why she's not increasing in intensity right now, is because of dry air. So the hurricane models are seeing this very well. Absolutely seeing this. This is their 0Z run, which is their latest model.